My first recollection was when I went to school. The night before going to school, my friend who was not Jewish, she and I slept in our home, slept in the same bed, played as children do. And I remember my mother opening the door and telling us to go to sleep because we were being noisy and the next day was school. She and I got up in the morning to go to school one morning. When we came to school, she was allowed to walk in, and the door was closed to me. I was told I was not allowed to walk into class anymore. I needed to go home because I was Jewish. A teacher, who was my teacher, who took out a white handkerchief from his pocket the week before to wipe a smudge off of my face, turned to me one day and told me I must not come to school anymore. All of a sudden, for whatever reason, I needed to go back home and not come back to school. I remember going home and crying and not understanding why I was not allowed to go to school anymore. A few minutes later, my two brothers came home crying. They too were sent back home and were told not to go to school anymore because we became, quote, Jewish overnight. My mother had to sit down with us and tell us the facts of life. Tell us why we were not allowed to go to school anymore. Tell us that the country was invaded by a man called Hitler, who was a bad man. We did not know about the killings at that time, at least I didn't. But we were told that there were certain rules we needed to follow from now on. And one was not to go to public school. I recall the laws being set down one by one. Not being able to go to a grocery store except during certain hours. Not being able to work our farms anymore. Not being able to walk into a bakery anymore except during certain hours. Not to go into a park and sit on a bench unless it's sat for Jews only. The wearing of the yellow star. And the hours we were allowed to be out and the hours we were asked to be back in the house. And those were the first that I personally felt. And then, of course, the laws that came down one by one. Every day there was a new law. And every day we had to obey the new law. And we were not allowed to walk down the street anymore. If someone came towards us that was not a Jew, the Jew needed to step off the sidewalk to allow the next person, who, of course, was not Jewish, to walk by. I recall our neighbors turning their backs on us, spitting on us. Neighbors who lived in peace with us, who were our friends the week before. And then, of course, we were lucky we were farmers because we would have starved to death.